Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Construction season is in full swing, and so is innovation at Wavelogix. Over the past several months, our team has been hard at work listening to your feedback, developing new capabilities, and finding even more ways to help you monitor concrete with greater confidence. Today, we'll show you how we've made Rebel easier to use, giving you a greater visibility into every project and helping you make faster, more informed decisions every day. New tools, greater visibility, and more certainty. Before we dive in, just a few housekeeping items. Today's webinar is being recorded, and everyone who registered will receive a copy. If you have questions, don't wait, drop it in the chat, and we'll try and answer them at the end during our live Q&A. And be sure to stay with us through the end. We'll share details about our midsummer construction sale and introduce our Break Free program and tell you how you can take advantage of both. Today, joining me are three people who have been instrumental in bringing these new capabilities to life. Joe Turek, our CEO, Gerry Vanhorn, Director of Product Development, and Jake Visniski, our lead software developer. We'll walk you through the newest dashboard enhancements, product innovations, and expanded kit configurations, and our new online store. Let's begin with how the Rebel platform has become even easier to use.
Fantastic. Thanks, Suzanne, for that wonderful introduction. Welcome, panelists, to our next in line webinar series. Today's agenda, as Suzanne had laid out, is kind of an exciting one for us to go over the dashboard enhancements that has been, probably what, Jake, about a year in the making since we started this, maybe even longer.
Yeah.
We now have a dashboard from its inception to one that I think is just incredible to use. You'll walk us through that. Then we'll go into all the product updates that we've done over the last year and go over our complete product line. We'll spin right into Shopify, how you can buy our products now online, making it easier than it ever has been. We'll wrap up with our Break Free program and our Midsummer Construction Sale. Saying that, I'm now going to turn this over to Jake, and I'll let you start our program with our dashboard enhancements.
All righty. Let me go ahead and pull that up. All righty. Is that looking good for everybody?
Yep.
I can see.
Yep.
Zoom's doing its job then. Fantastic. A rare day. All righty. So what we're just going to start off with is just a basic overview of what it looks like to add a project on our dashboard and to get set up for deploying sensors, and just, how simple, how easy that is, and some of the enhancements we've made over the years to make this a little bit easier. And obviously comparing this with cylinders, with, pouring everything in there, rotting it, curing it, all that stuff, as opposed to just putting your sensors down, plugging it in, make sure everything's set up, and then pouring over it. So if we just go ahead and create a new project, I can go Wavelogix webinar project. I can put in a location. So this is searchable, defaults to New York for whatever reason. That's Google's default, but wherever you are in the world, you can put that in. So I'm going to say we're in Ross-Ade Stadium, representing the Boilermakers. We'll go ahead and hit create. And if we scroll down here, we see our Wavelogix webinar project. Obviously, there's no pores in here, so we can go ahead and click on add a pore. Then we can do Wavelogix test pour. Something new that those of you that are current customers and are currently on our dashboard will see is this alert template. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later, but for now we'll leave that blank. And then we just go into the mix design. So this is, I think, one of our really great features is you can actually create a mix template, which we'll go over a little bit later. But you can pick from everything that you've ever entered in here. So if you use 5, 6, 7, 8 mixes regularly, you can create your template. But then if your current job requires some modifications, you can click through. If you've got, say, a little bit more water, you can change that up. If you've got other additional aggregates you're throwing in there, if you're throwing in additional admixtures, I want to throw in, I don't know, water reducer, something like that, then, oh, high range, then you can do that easily. But if it's the exact same, you just click through all this stuff and it'll auto-fizz it all for you. Then you can go ahead and click submit. Then your pour's been created. One thing I'll call out is we've added some additional fields here for you to be able to track. If you want to track your supplier, your contractor, these fields will show up in our reporting as well. So those are some new things we've added. And then here again, you'll go in and add new sensors. So you'll scan your sensor ID. I'm not going to pull that up because it will want to take my camera from Zoom. So I won't be doing that. But when you go, it'll have a little tag on your sensor that you'll just scan the QR code and it'll automatically add that sensor in there for you. And of course, you'll see your weather based on the location you entered, and a couple of other things. So that's pretty much what it takes to set it up on the dashboard. Then obviously in the field with your hardware, you'll deploy your sensor, you plug it into your data logger, make sure your cord's not somewhere dangerous where it's going to get stepped on, cut, I don't know, run over wherever, put it somewhere safe. Make sure your data logger is not in the place where the concrete's going to get poured. All that good
On
stuff.
top of it, right? Hey,
Yes.
Jake, can I ask a question while you're going through this?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so these features that you just walked us through, the mix design and then adding your sensors into a pour, all that can be done at your desk. You don't have to be out in the field to get all this done, correct?
Yeah, it does not need to be the same person either. You could go through it, you could set everything up, and then you could have someone else go out and deploy it. You could be across the world, set everything up in this dashboard, and then wherever the sensor is being deployed across the world, it'll go ahead and populate in the data.
Okay.
Um,
So great ability to be mobile and if you look at pouring cylinders, you got to be at the end of the truck with your wheelbarrow waiting for concrete, first the truck to show up and then you get in line to get some of the concrete to then start your process. Here, everything could be done nicely weeks before if you wanted to. You're just grabbing your sensors, getting the whole dashboard set up, and then as you were just mentioning, go out into the field and start to lay the sensors down, set up the data logger. And again, all that is done before the truck ever gets there to get poured. That can all be done an hour, as much as a day ahead of time. What's our window for setup in the field? How soon before you can get to the field? Maximum.
yeah, Gerry, you want to take that one?
I'm sorry, Joe. Can you rephrase that? How soon can you get to the
Yeah,
field for when?
if yeah, how much prior to the actual truck pouring concrete over our sensor can we set the sensor up? Is it a
Oh,
full
well,
day? Is it a couple hours? What do you prefer?
we prefer to do it just an hour or two before if you can. That preserves a little bit of your battery life and just
Okay.
protects it against anything else. You can do it a little bit earlier than that, but we prefer to have it a little bit closer to the time when you cover it.
Okay. But the neat thing is that we know that trucks are invariably late when
This
you want
is
them
for
there at
sure,
8 o'clock and they get there at 9:30. You could actually have your sensor set up ready to go, and you could leave the the job site if you want to, be onto your next project and have the confidence that concrete will get poured on the sensor, and then our sensors start reading as soon as the concrete is poured over that sensor.
for sure.
Correct.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, great, Jake. I'm sorry to break in there, but
Oh, all good.
carry on, sir.
Great questions. Yeah, so that's kind of our setup. That's what it takes to get started. Now we'll sort of show off a little bit of what this looks like after it's been running for a few days. So I will say for this is our internal test environment, and we use some techniques to simulate curing for our sensors. So this is not real concrete. If this strength graph looks a little wonky, it's like concrete shouldn't be curing like that. That's a little odd. You're right, because it is not real concrete. We poured real concrete in the office for a while, but that's a little messy. We our office is carpet and cubicles. It is not like a nice industrial space. So we ended that program after a couple of trials, and now we use some other things to make that happen. So just a brief
Humble
disclaimer.
beginnings. Humble
Yes,
beginnings.
indeed. But it does show off what it will look like, when you do have real concrete and when you do have a real graph. So that part does not change. Um, so the first thing that I'll call out is we've had this for a little while, but for anyone that's new, is our multi-strength graph. So this is on a logarithmic scale. The reason we do this is typically you want to see 0 to 3 days, 0 to 6 days, and a lot more detail than 21 to 24. You may be checking the dashboard, hourly or daily early on, but unlikely once you get past that point. So we really emphasize the early part of the data so you can see in detail what's going on with your concrete in real time as it cures through that critical period where you're having to strip forms, make joint cuts, put curing compound on, finishing, whatever you need to do. We have that data there for you. And you can compare all of the sensors across your across your pour, and compare and contrast. Is one looking high? Is one looking low? Are they tracking all in a groove? What's that looking like? We have our expected mix strength line, which is entered in with your mix. And this is basically how close am I coming to my expectation for the strength of this mix? Am I way under? Am I way over? Is it right on the money? So this allows you to see, okay, is my ready mix giving me, what I'm looking for? Am I over cementing? Am I under cementing? Do we add too much water? What's going on? It kind of gives you that line to be able to compare and contrast and see what's going on. Break data can also be displayed, and I'll show you briefly how that is entered.
I'm really excited with this new one, Jake.
Yeah,
This is pretty cool.
This has been refreshed, so we had a different screen for this. This is not currently live. This is going to be deployed sometime in the next couple of days or early next week. But basically, you can go through here and say, all right, I'm going to enter my 1 day break, my 3 day, my 7 day, all the commons, custom hours if you want to put in something that's a little bit more non-standard. You can also use a custom date. So this pour was a while ago, so this is going to be quite a while. But you can actually input now what the current date and time is, and it will calculate, okay, this is, or a custom date and time. This is how long since the beginning of the pour for you to enter your sensors. So
I think that one's going to be pretty key because I think some people are going to do breaks maybe at non-standard times, and I think that custom date option will be really useful.
Yes. So hopefully it takes a little bit of the thinking. You don't have to do as much of the math of how many days is that, how many hours, and you can just put the date in and go from there, and you'll see, a preview of how many hours it is. But if I want to put in, a couple cylinders for day 1, then say I'm going to do my day 3 at the same time. So I'll put in 3100, 3300, and a 3500. And then it's like, all right, yep, that all looks good. I'll go ahead and submit that. Then if I'm coming back later, it's like, all right, I've got my 7 day. Then I can just go through here and put that in real quick so you can see it on the graph. And 3700. And I can go ahead and submit that. And then these are editable and deletable. So if you screw something up or you need to go back and change it, then you can feel free to do that. Then if we go back here, you see these nice little red dots.
Sorry, Gerry, I'm Jake, excuse me. I see that you also can put in whether it's a 4x8 cylinder or a 6x12. Was there options also for flex beams as well?
Yes, I'm so glad you asked. So we have all kinds of different options. We have cubes, cores, beams, and these will actually show up. I'll show this off a little bit. Say we put in beams will be a little bit lower probably. So we put in a 1700 at day 1. If I
maybe more like 300, but that's
yeah. But this will put it somewhere we can see. You can see it actually shows up as a different icon as well, and it'll show off in here. You can also, if you don't want to see it, you can just click and that'll remove it. You can also remove sensors from up here. So that's sort of our break data entry that
That's
is
cool.
new and coming
And
soon.
so, Jake, let me ask you, since you were nice enough to actually put a beam in there, I noticed that you put in maybe 1700. Well, my beams, let's just say on average, are 10 times lower than a compressive cylinder. Would I put in the flex data for the compressive, if it was 300 PSI, that's what it broke at? Or do I need to convert it to a compressive strength to put it on the chart? What are my options?
Well, I mean, really, you can do it either way. It's kind of up to you what you want that to represent. I
Uh,
think generally my recommendation would be putting it in as a flex beam, as the actual flex break, because
okay.
people will assume it's like, okay, it's a beam, it should be flexural strength.
Mhm.
And but if you want to put it in and convert it to compressive, you can feel free to do that.
Okay.
We kind of leave it up to you how you want it to work.
Okay. Great. Thanks.
Which is a great segue for one of the other things is flexural. So you can see that one of the things we do offer is that your flex beams will not convert to flexural strength if you put them in. So that is a vote for putting in your actual flexural strength. So if it's 300 psi, then it'll be all the way down here, and then your sensor data and brakes will actually be converted to flex as well. We use an industry standard equation for making this estimation. And if you have a sort of a custom need and you have kind of an empirical formula you've worked out, we have some customers like that, but when converting between compressive and flex, then you can modify this constant to match whatever your formula is. So if you have something custom that it's like, I know that actually it's this compressive is going to be a little bit less in flexural, you can decrease it. If it's going to be a little bit more, depending on the situation, you can increase it. So we have that customizability there. And of course, right next to it, we have imperial and metric for any of our metric customers. We unfortunately do not support full metric across the product yet, but we do have for all of our compressive and flexural strength. You can change between imperial and metric. We also, surprise, have a new multi-temperature plot where you can plot the temperature of all of your sensors, and that also has a Fahrenheit and Celsius setting. So you can have that conversion there. Let's see here. Anything else I
Um,
missed? Go ahead,
well,
Jim.
I think you can, you might have said this and I missed it, but if you had multiple, with multiple sensors there, you could click on a sensor and eliminate it or just keep some in there. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you can do
So,
that here or up here, whichever way
okay.
is easier for you.
Easier way to do it. And you can kind of make your screen better or smaller depending on how many sensors that you have, which is great. This is a huge enhancement from what we started with originally. We were just plotting the sensors on their own little screens, and you never had a sense of how they compared to each other. So really, really nice job on that. Love the fact that you can switch between imperial and metric if you're in, somewhere outside the United States, and also the ability for folks who use flexural compared to compressive. All that is kind of done for you inside the report. So yeah, nice, nice enhancements.
For sure.
Yeah, it's a really great way for you to be able to see what's going on with the project in general, like where the brakes are lying, if you're still using brakes, how the mix is comparing to everything, all the sensors, you can remove any sensors you want. If you're using our cylinder sensor kits, you can just remove the sensors in structure and leave the cylinder sensors. You can remove the cylinder sensors just to look at the structure. It's a very flexible way for you to be able to look at that real-time granular strength data to really see what's happening over time and how it's relating to these other important events in the bore.
Yeah, very
Um,
nice. Did you talk about the predictive segment of the chart, or is that coming up?
Not yet. That was coming up, but I can segue
Okay.
right into that.
Okay.
So that is another great feature that we offer is we will show a prediction of where we think the strength is going over time. So you can see these hollow circles here. So this can allow you to think about, okay, probably at around, I don't know, say 28 days, I'm going to be at 4,500 PSI or something like that. Or you can look at if you need to do form stripping at 2000 and you're all the way back here, you can see approximately when we think that you will reach that point, whether you need to roll traffic across it. You'll be able to see, okay, when is it estimating I'll be able to open my traffic? If you do joint cutting and you can establish a PSI where you know that you're going to get a good joint cut without cutting too early or too late, then you can see I'm probably going to need to cut my joints in 2 hours based on this prediction or this projection. Um, and so it's a really powerful feature that we offer for users to be able to see, not just what's happening now, not just what happened in the past, but what we think might be happening in the future. So you can start getting things ready and making plans for when you do reach that strength. Which
Yeah.
is with cylinders, you get those discrete breakpoints where, if you're a little low, then you have to guess about where and when am I going to break my next cylinder so I can get to my next milestone. But for us, we can show you over time. You don't have to worry about, am I going to have enough cylinders? Am I too early? Am I too late? It's just right there on the dashboard that you can go and look at it. It's another way that we're able to bring a little more certainty into the uncertainty of concrete pouring and all those
Yeah.
pour
Yeah,
events.
that's really cool. Not only does it help with scheduling, but probably the biggest fear for contractors is if they had a bad mix and they weren't going to hit their certified strength, they could know that far sooner than waiting 28 to 56 days to realize that they're not going to make the final strength. So this is a huge insurance policy early on for contractors and their concrete mix. And can you turn that feature off as well?
If you don't want to see it, just click the box and it's gone. So,
Great, great. Where was that you put show the strength projections? Ah, right there.
yep,
Simple. You thought of everything. Love it.
yep, indeed. Alrighty. So I'll scroll down a little bit to show off some of the information we can show here. So we will show the signal strength of your data logger. So if you have poor signal, it'll show you that. If your signal is great, it will show you. Helps a little bit with diagnose if you happen to run into some kind of cell issue, then you can see here, what's going on with your data logger. We also have
So
weather
just
data.
to, I'm sorry, Jake, just to highlight that concept, maybe everyone doesn't realize that our data logger has a cell phone in it. That's how we're connecting up to the web so that the sensors are connected up through that cellular network. And the biggest issue with any cell phone is, do you have good, strong coverage? And if you start getting out into the field someplace, the worst thing is to find out that you don't have good cell coverage. This will tell you right on the dashboard if you're connecting or not. And then, from there you can mitigate that issue.
Yep. Um, and to go a little further into monitoring data loggers, if I load this up, um, there's also, actually, we don't have it on here because these data loggers are old, but we will show your data logger battery as well. And we are working on adding an additional alert that will alert you if your data logger drops below a certain battery percentage. So it's like, oh, my data logger's hit 10%, 5%, 20%, whatever you set it, I need to go out into the fields and make sure that I swap that out. If you really want to get that really long strength, obviously our data logger has a pretty good battery life. But if you're doing long-term monitoring of projects or you forget to charge it or whatever, that's a future feature that we're looking at to.
Jake, would
Yep,
it be a lot of trouble to get you to go to our project going today that shows the battery and signal strength?
it would not. I'm so glad you asked, Gerry.
Okay.
So this is one that is much more recent. That is an older pour. This is one we're doing right now, and you can see right here it'll show your data logger battery at 97%. 50%, whatever it is. So you can track that, make sure that, you're not running out of battery, that you keep getting your data. So,
Nice. While we're talking about the battery, on a full charge, if you start your project with a fully charged battery, Gerry, how long does that battery in the data logger typically last nowadays?
That's a great question, Joe. And I'm going to give you an engineering answer.
Okay.
So,
I'm
um,
gonna love this. One engineer talking to another engineer.
right,
Perfect.
right. But I'm going to give you a number at room temperature, knowing that for my other engineers on the call and listening at home, that temperature swings do have an effect on battery. But you can count on 4 weeks with our latest firmware on the data logger on your project at a nice room temperature. When you go hotter or colder, it'll be could swing a little bit. So
Yeah, that's great. I think our earlier versions were clocking in about 6 or 7 days. So you've made great enhancements in there. I know you're going to talk about other products that we have, our product offering, Gerry, but we do have a strap-on battery pack that would take you definitely past 28 days. If you've got, weird environments out there, real hot or real cold, it could affect the battery life. If you are in a weak signal area, that'll drain the battery more. So the battery
fair
extender
point.
kind of guarantees you 28 days. And then we have a monster battery pack that we offer that would take you several months, I think, the way things are going
So I'll
with
go ahead
that
and show
one.
him since you're bringing them
Okay.
up. So here's our the strap-on edition that has a smaller battery, but is essentially going to give you longer battery life. And this is our mega battery that we offer in a housing for the field. But
Okay, that's fantastic. Okay, thank you.
Alrighty. So I promised I'm almost done. The last thing is the most exciting, fortunately. So this is some of our project intelligence features. So the first one I'll show off is sensor locations. This pulls directly from the data logger, and it will show you where the data logger is on a Google map. So if you have a yard and you want to know, okay, where is my sensor? Where is my data logger? If you have like, okay, where is this? Where I have the project location, but where are we along this, 2 mile roadway or wherever? You can see your data logger stretched across there. You can see it in satellite, see it in hybrid, whatever you want to see. So that's a great way for you to be able to keep track of your devices and sort of locate approximately where your sensors are. Um,
That's
Another
pretty
good
cool. So, like,
one.
if you were doing a roadway project and you had sensors that were all the way down the road, you could actually look on a map and see where all those sensors were
Right.
across the whole road,
Yep.
miles and miles. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. We also added, we had this previously in our sensors, but we have brought it out to this screen, what model it's using. So transparency on what was used to predict this. So you can track this sensor used, our V1 model, our V2 model, our V2.1 model, whatever you want to, whatever you're on, you'll be able to see what predicted that. So
Mhm.
that's another good one. And the last one is the one that I am the most excited about that is totally new for those of you that have been with us for a while and have known about a number of these features as we've added them, is alerting. So we have added something called alert templates. So these actually work very similar to our mixes, which if you go in here, you can add a mix. So if you have a standard mix you use, you go through and enter it here. If you want to work off of a previous mix that you already use and make modifications, you can do that. I already explained some of this. We take the same concept to alerting. So we used to have alerts, currently have on the dashboard that will be sort of one discrete point in time. You have to add them for every single pour. And they were just kind of a hassle. They weren't super useful. So we went back to the drawing board and is how can we make this really work? And how do we keep people advised of what's going on with their project over time? And we came up with alerting templates. So if I want to standard paving too, I can do all kinds of stuff here, and we're going to be adding more and more of these over time. So I can put an alert name. So I could say certification strength, and I could put in strength alert and say my cert strength is 4,500 psi. I can add that in. Now I'll be alerted when it hits certification strength. If I want to cut my joints at say 800 psi, I can put that in. If I want to roll traffic at 3000 psi or whatever you want to do it at, depending on how heavy the trucks are, you can add that in. If you want to do form removal, you can put that in, and you can know, say, okay, at 2000 psi, I can remove my forms. I can move on to the next place. You can put all this in here, and you'll get an email every time one of these actually gets hit. So instead of having to check the dashboard, you can actually know what's going on. Also, we can add in stuff like temperature alerts. So if the data logger goes below, say 45 degrees, so we're getting close to freezing, not great temperatures for concrete, it'll let you know. And this isn't weather data coming from a weather station. This is coming directly from the data logger's position. And we can also do the actual sensor temperature, which is inside the concrete. So if you're doing a mass concrete pour, or if you just want to know if your concrete goes above, 95, 100, 105 degrees, you're worried about plastic shrinkage cracking, excessive evaporation, whatever you're worried about, then if you put that in the template, unless, one of those conditions actually happens, you'll never need to worry about it. But it's a nice safety to be notified if that occurs in your project within, I don't know, probably about 15 minutes roughly of, when that event actually occurs. You can also add any user in your company to this list. So if you have a PM, a technician, a finisher, whoever you want to have on here, then they will all get these emails and they can all know, what's going on with this concrete.
That'll be cool. I like that.
And this is something that is not going to stay the same. This is going to be expanded next month. We're going to be working on adding a data logger battery alert, as I said earlier, and we're going to continue looking at different ways that we can look at our data and provide observability into, what is going on with the project, what's going on with the concrete, and making sure that you're aware of all of that stuff. So very excited about that. Once you're done, you create it. And then on any pour that you need to do, I can go into this one that we just created. And if I want to add alerts, I can go ahead and add my template, standard paving 2. And then it'll sort of show you here where all your alerts are. And again, same as our mixes, if you have a custom need on this project, you can modify it without modifying the template. So if I want to know at 50 degrees, I can change that up. If I want to add more alerts, if I want to remove them, I can do that. Once they're triggered, they will be disabled. So you don't just continue getting emails and emails and emails. So then if you want to be notified again, you can come in and then you can re-enable it. Or if you decide, I don't want to know about this one, I don't really care, you don't have to delete it. You can just disable it. Then you can come back and enable it later. All kinds of stuff that this can do.
Pretty cool.
So
I like that.
Outstanding.
Yeah, very excited about that one. But
nice job.
Alrighty, that's all I have. So
did you talk about weather data at all?
I did show that off.
I was sleeping through the weather. Yeah.
A little hot.
It's right here.
Today.
For that. Yeah. I mean, I think the most critical thing is evaporation rate, which really affects most of the contractors. So that's really kind of cool. And in fairness, our weather data is not coming from a little weather station inside our data logger. It's picking up weather from what the closest station to the site based on the GPS, right?
Yes.
But that's better than nothing. I love the forecasting ability to kind of have forward idea of whether it's going to rain or snow or be cloudy and what the temperature looks like. So nice job on that as well. I'd probably mention that 90% of the enhancements we've done over the year have come from our customers and feedback that we've gotten from them. So we are very aggressive at taking customer suggestions and integrating it into the dashboard. It's a living, breathing animal, and we continue to get updates to this dashboard based on how our users like it. And I'll do a plug, Jake and Gerry, for your user group that you've started. It's a way of getting the community together to talk about new ideas. The users group are the first group of people that get to see new ideas and kick around things. And we like to present stuff at those meetings to see
Yeah.
how it plays with everyone. So I think we'd love to invite everyone
Yeah.
who is interested to
Reach
join
out
the.
if people want
Yep.
to join.
Okay. Jake, were you going to talk about reporting at all?
Yes. If I can find my project again. Future projections, that's what it was. I got lost. There we go. Alrighty. So good thing that you were talking about the user group, because this was heavily influenced by some of our customers and some of our user groups. So this is our PDF reporting. This is meant to take as much of our data as possible, compress it into a professional, readable report that you can then send off to any of your stakeholders, that you can file away for your own purposes, whatever you want. You can select which centers you want on there. You can add any notes that you want in here. If you want to note something happened on the site, or just a free form area for you to put in anything that needs to go on the report that we don't have a space for. And if I go ahead and click generate the report, and this is on our development environment, so it's a little bit slower. It is a little bit quicker on our production environment because we have bigger servers allocated to that than when it's just us generating reports when we need to do a demo or whatever else. But this was heavily influenced by some of our customers, and they really drove the development of what they wanted on here, what we wanted to look like. And if you want to be able to do that, say you've got an idea for an alert, it's like, oh, I'd love to know this about my concrete, or I want to know this about the devices or what's going on. If you have an idea, if you're in the user group, then there's a reasonable chance that we will eventually, sometimes very quickly, be able to take that idea and actually make it reality. And you'll be able to influence the overall development of our dashboard and, what's going on and all that other good stuff. So it's really a great opportunity, to influence the direction of the product. And we really appreciate it because we love solving problems for people. We have all this cool data, all this real-time strength, all of this mixed data, all this stuff, and we just want to find problems to solve with it. So if you have a concrete problem, our data, there's a good chance that we'll be able to at least help you solve it, but only if you let us know. So love to hear that. So this is roughly what our PDF reporting looks like. You have a header here with some basic mix info for your contractor and supplier, your pour, project company, pour detected at, your generated at. You've got your concrete strength graph, your temperature graph. Obviously, this was inside. If you were outside, then you'll see much more variation. And then you'll see your sensor results. So you'll see the name, the code, the pour detected date, and time, your 1/37/14/28 current. And then there's also the sensor info. So a lot of our customers wanted to track other tests that get done on site. So slump, air content, density, the batch ticket, the truck number, notes on location is an important one. So you can go and find it or figure out what exactly it represents. Some of our customers use stationing. Others may use a mile marker. Whatever works for you, you can put it in there. And then your notes show up in this last screen. So that's sort of what our reporting looks like. Again, if you have things I want to see this on there, I want to see that on there, let us know. And we can look at how we can accommodate you and make this work as well as possible for everybody. Because we sell across a lot of different people, ready mix, contractors, DOTs. So, we do our best to make this stuff work for everybody. So,
Very
alrighty.
cool.
I think that's the last thing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that's everything.
All right. I'll kick it back to you guys then.
Okay. All right. Well, looking at our products right now, I'll turn it over to you, Gerry, to kind of talk about product development and what you've been doing for the last year.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate that, Joe. Got a lot of fun things going on right now. I hope to bring a lot of value for our customers here. Um, let's see. So first of all, I would say around the beginning of the year, we really launched an international effort. So if any of our customers or partners have any international projects, we have a data logger that will work for you. We use a slightly different version of our cellular technology in that, but otherwise it's basically the same. So we've launched projects in various countries around the world, from India, Morocco, Brazil, the UK, Thailand, Chile, Saudi Arabia, quite a few, and we're looking to get expanded in a few others this year. So it's very exciting to see that launched and to give us the availability to connect in almost any market. So very exciting there. You can find that. Give me a second here. I'll go ahead and share my screen. You guys able to see that?
Not yet.
Maybe.
Zoom doing Zoom things.
Yeah.
Zoom at its best.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to show on our Shopify that everybody mentioned. So we have this shows the different cellular communication technologies. So a distinction here. So just if you're ordering, keep that in mind.
Green.
Yes, green. So with the data logger in mind, we're also launching a revised version of our original. It's essentially some additional hardening for some issues we've seen customers observe in the field. So it's a little bit more robust for wear and tear and beat up that is experienced on a job site. So excited about that. That is available in our inventory now. It's not something that is separately sold. It's just going to be where we start filling new orders with. So that's very exciting. Next we have, find my picture. I apologize, I don't have a better picture of it at this point, but we're starting to ship new sensors with reflective tape. Think if you have a nighttime project going on, you deployed a sensor. How do you make sure any of the operators and other people running machinery around the site don't run over it or into it? So we're adding some reflective tape that's proven to be very useful so far. Joe talked about the battery life, so I probably won't go into that too much, but I did want to share the this is what we call our field box or field kit. Let me go back to that, sorry. On the screen, we offer this box container, the data logger safety, so you can stake it to the ground. If you drill holes beneath it, we offer the stakes and everything. This is an idea we got from one of our partners as well, so thank you, customers. But this is also an option. And let's see, a cable extension. So for anybody who has a really long job or a really long highway, maybe you're going across multiple lanes and you need to get past this, we offer our default data logger comes with 16-foot cable. This is an additional 50-foot that you can connect, and that works really well. I should probably stop sharing just for a minute as I show some of these other things.
How crowded is your desk, Gerry? Must have
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you do not want to see it. So thankfully for the blur, the background from Zoom. This is another one I'm probably most excited about coming out. I'm gonna try to get in as close as I can here. So this is what we call our splitter or multi-port, depending on who you talk to. But this splitter is going to give you the option for one data logger to service 3 sensors. So let me grab a data logger real quick. Sorry, that's not going to work. I need another one. Of course, I don't have one fully assembled right when I need it. Anyway, go on. Well, anyway, you guys get the first one. So you just hook it up to the normal sensor port, and then you have your adapter cable, and then you can plug in up to 3 sensors, and it services all from the same data logger, just sequentially takes measurements and sends them up. So,
and does it
like
differentiate all the sensors then on the dashboard?
Yes, it will publish all that data per sensor ID, just as normal. You won't even be able to tell on the dashboard any difference if you had 3 data loggers and 3 sensors versus the one with the splitter. So very excited to save our customers money there. That one is in the final stages of development, hoping to make it commercially available next month, assuming all testing goes well. So that's very exciting. Next up.
Yeah, so that was a nice enhancement rather than coming out with a data logger that has 3 ports in it, and with the thousands of data loggers that we have out in the field already. Now customers can just buy the splitter and then enhance the same data logger and use that data logger any way they want, individually or splitting it up with 3. And if you only wanted to put 2 in there, you don't have to put all
Right.
3, right? So
Absolutely.
you work with 1, 2, or 3. Really cool if you're doing mass concrete where you wanted to look at temperature on the ends and concrete strength in the center. You want to look at the temperature across all 3. Having a splitter is really kind of nice and a great way of optimizing the use of your data loggers on a job site.
Absolutely. And thank you for mentioning mass concrete and temperature sensor. We are coming out with a temperature sensor to serve applications like mass concrete. So that one is even closer to coming commercially available than the multi-port or splitter. So that one's just a basic temperature sensor. You can deploy it and it'll just show up in that multi-temperature plot that Jake showed. So I will quickly just go back to our test screen just to demonstrate that. And then I know I got to hurry up here because we're running out of time, going long on people. So let me share my screen again. Hopefully you all can see this. Let me know if you can.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so this is our test we showed earlier. So here's our temperature sensor. Has no strength, just shows temperature. We send up temperature every 20 minutes. So
Cool.
pretty straightforward. And like I said, Joe said that could be intermixed on your splitter. You can have strength sensors, you can have temp sensors, either one. Reports a battery as well, and a signal strength, but that one's not showing currently. And then I want to say outside of the Shopify view, I don't have one of those handy to show, but I can show what it looks like from here. Here's the cable, and then it's just a real basic little sensor end there. So that one is coming soon. And let's get back to the view. Sorry about that. So I think that was the last product I wanted to highlight. And since we're a little bit
the cylinder sensors are something that might be new that people aren't aware of.
Yep, that was another thing I had here that Suzanne was talking about with my very busy desk. So we are coming out and have made commercially available, I believe, 4x8 cylinder kits. So there's a sensor in there. It's hard to see, but here's the wire coming out. So that was new because before we just offered the 6x12. So now we have a 4x8 coming out, which is exciting too.
It was also a request from a customer, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you, Joe, for the lead there. But I'll hand it back to you just now that we're kind of over time, and I just want to give you a chance to talk about anything else we missed or that you thought might be highlighted.
Yeah, I'll take back over. Hopefully you can see my screen with, kind of the ways that we sell the product. Once, to get folks started, just mention the different products that we do offer. The easiest kit we have is the the apprentice kit, which is a great starter kit. You have 4 data loggers with individual chargers and 8 sensors. Comes in a nice little box. Great way to get started for someone to try a project and run 2 or 3 projects to see how things work. Our more popular device is the Journeyman kit. This has 6 data loggers and 12 sensors to start off with. It's usually the way that most of our customers do because it gives them the greatest amount of flexibility on different projects. These all come with individual chargers. And for the more serious-minded projects that are all in, our professional kit is a great way of going into the field. That gives you 10 data loggers, 20 sensors in a little larger box, And what's cool is it comes with a full charging plate. And now you can drop 10 sensors onto a charging plate, charge those at your desk or in your truck, and charge up a whole bunch of them at one time rather than having a lot of cables coming out for 10 sensors. So it's a nice little cable management device as well. So great way to get started with the kits and go from there. All of the pieces are sold individually. So those who have data loggers can buy a charging plate, can buy boxes, and you can buy sensors and data loggers individually. So I will stop there. Was there anything else that I needed to mention with regards to kits? I think that kind of covers it.
Good.
And go from there. And we have a little break-free program. I'm kind of excited about that to go along with our moniker Break Free. As you know, it's all about eliminating cylinder breaks. That's our philosophy. We have a sensor that can go the distance. Maturity only goes for a couple days, and then as the concrete cools off, a thermocouple isn't very useful. We use acoustic technology that allows you to measure the concrete strength up from years from now if you wanted to. And most importantly is eliminate cylinder breaks overall. We have Iowa State who has written into their specifications the use of our sensors without requiring any type of brakes. So that's the direction we're going. And to highlight that, we're offering a cool little, what I call break-free kit. This is something that it's, can you see that?
It comes back and forth from the background, so it's like
Oh, from the
magic.
background. Okay, sorry, I put it over my. It's a small little device that's used to break free if you happen to find yourself in a situation where you are stuck in your vehicle and the only way to get out is through breaking through the windshield. This has a little plunger in it that will break through any windshield if you are stuck in your car, and a little knife that will cut your seatbelt off. So it's a wonderful tool. We're giving those away for free. If you schedule a call with us, a sales call, or we come out and meet with you, certainly ask for our break free tool. We'd love to give those away. Everyone should have them in their car for them and their family in case you happen to find yourself in the water or stuck in your car. With that, we will turn it back over to Suzanne, and please talk to us about our 250-year coming in the making anniversary special for the next month and a half. Sue, take it away and close us out.
Sure. To celebrate today's product updates, we're excited to announce our midsummer construction sale. From today through August 31st, you will receive 25% off on our Journeyman and Professional kits, and all of our Rebel sensors are priced at $150 each, which is 25% off, and that goes for singles as well as 50 packs and 100 packs of those. Please contact our sales team and they'd be happy to place these orders for you, or you can place them on our newly launched e-commerce platform, which is under our products part on our website. We hope today's update showed you more than just new features, that they demonstrated our continued commitment to helping you make better decisions, save time, and gain greater confidence on every single one of your concrete projects. Thank you for being a part of the Wavelogix community. We appreciate your partnership and look forward to helping you build. Have a wonderful day, and we hope to see you soon.
Let's
Thanks,
see you
Jerry.
next month.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody.